Good morning, afternoon, evening to everybody out there on YouTube. I am LilyMoo961, and just now, not 5 minutes ago, I just finished watching the Death Note movie on Netflix. And I'm gonna be honest, I was pleasantly surprised. I thought that, well, going into it, because it is Death Note, and Death Note is so popular, and such this big, humongous thing that we all love and that we don't want to be touched too much. I thought initially going in, I'm probably gonna hate this, and especially with the trailers that came out, that just boggled my mind and was like, what is happening? I really thought I would hate it. But to be perfectly honest, going into it, like once you get past some of the initial setup, which honestly parts of it are a little bit like, what? Why? Okay. Like Light in particular, on like this dude, oh my goodness. Okay, so this dude, I'm just kind of saying my thoughts and feelings on this, so this is gonna be all over the place. But Light is like either really, really intelligent or really, really dumb. There is no in between with this guy, and at times it is the most hilarious thing ever. Like when Ryuk shows up, and I'm not gonna really go into spoilers here, but his reaction is just straight up hilarious. Like, it's supposed to be like this ominous section, this really scary sort of thing, but no, it's hilarious, and I loved it. Because his reaction was just when you see it, if you guys choose to watch it, that part in particular is hilarious, and I laughed my butt off. But anywho, the movie on a whole, I feel, was really, really well done. There were some things that, again, were just kind of stupid, mainly just some of Light's decisions and how certain things came into play, and how, like, when Light and Mia, the Misa character, kind of, like, got together, it was just kind of like, oh, that escalated quickly, okay. Like, have you known each other for, like, 5 seconds? Okay, I guess you're together now. Alright, I'll roll with it. And, let's see, I think it's, his name is William Dafoe, the guy that plays Ryuk. My goodness, he did so good. Like, his delivery was just spot on. Absolutely loved him. He was actually kind of menacing, which was really cool, a good kind of switch from what we're used to seeing, because Ryuk is, in the anime, he's a little more playful. Like, he has his moments where he can be a little creepy, but on a whole, he's more, you know, just kind of somewhat of a comic relief in the anime. But in this movie, there were times when he was just straight up menacing, and it was just kind of like, okay, I would not want to encounter this thing in real life. Thank God that this doesn't actually exist, otherwise I'd be freaking terrified. And Mia was surprisingly, she was the more like, she was just the radical character in this. I'm trying not to give spoilers, because again, this is just like my kind of gut reaction right after seeing it. But she was just kind of like, this girl, holy cow, like, you think the Misa in Death Note is, like, it's not that Mia is annoying or anything, she really isn't, but man, she's radical. I mean, she just goes all out, and Light's like, it's like, woman, would you chill? And she's like, no, we're going on killing sprees together. And I'm just like, who are you? It's like, this is craziness. Let's see, I'm trying to think. L. Okay, so L is an interesting one because it's kind of like a mixture of me kind of loving what they did with his character and also kind of hating it at the same time. I do love the fact that, like, after something kind of crazy happens, he does get more forceful, and he does kind of just lose his mind, and it is just, like, it's jarring because, of course, you know, the L that we know is more often than not calm, and not that he doesn't ever have an emotional outburst, but he's still more reserved. You know, he keeps a level head no matter what. But this L that we see in this movie, oh no, he's not having it. Like, I don't know what happened, but just, wow. Like there were times when he just could not keep his composure at all, and for some people that may be a problem. I know for me at first when I was watching it, I was kind of like, irked by it a little bit. I was just kind of like, okay. But I kind of went into this entire thing just deciding that I would try to see it more as a standalone film rather than an adaptation of Death Note. And to certain respects, I guess it just depends on your point of view. For a lot of people going into it, if you watch this movie and you're expecting like a play-by-play of the Death Note anime, you're not going to get that. It is like there are pieces that are a little bit similar, but on a whole, this is like a different thing, and it's really, really different. And it's actually kind of refreshing in a way because we've seen the Death Note story done a lot. And that's not to say that, it's not a good story. It's a fantastic story. The anime is done really well for the most part, and the live action movies in Japan are good. I don't know about the live action series in Japan because I haven't seen it, but this movie was actually pretty good. And I really, and this is like totally new for me, but in this movie I actually found myself actually feeling kind of sorry for Light, more so than I do in the anime or the live action movies in Japan. Because in this one, Light is a little bit more of a, like, he's still crazy, but he's just more of a decent human being. He's kind of like this puppet that's gotten manipulated, yet at the same time, he's still smart. Like, he's not a complete idiot. He makes some bonehead decisions, but he's not a complete idiot. He kind of, makes, elaborate plans ahead of time, and, they turn out the way that he wants them to. But then in other situations, he's just completely dumb, and you're just like, why? It's like, oh, child, like, why in this situation would you do this? Like the Light in this Netflix movie, he's precious. he's precious. I don't really know how else to describe him. He's precious. And there are certain moments where he just, the actor's delivery, I don't know his name, but the actor's delivery, portraying Light at times is just flat out hilarious. And I absolutely loved that. Because honestly, Death Note is such a, I don't think depressing is the right word, but it is a very, very serious show. And so this movie is still very, very serious. But it does, there are little things that take you out just for a second to give you somewhat of a relief, because the deaths in this movie, in comparison to the anime and the live action movies in Japan, far more gruesome, far more brutal. I would just give you a warning ahead of time if you have not seen it yet, because wow, yeah, there's some brutal deaths in this, and good heavens, yeah, be warned, because they don't put a warning at the beginning of that movie. No siree. So, yeah, be aware that if you watch this, be prepared for some gore, because it's kind of out there. It's kind of brutal. See, I'm trying to think of anything else. I mean, that's about it. I mean, there's really not much else to say. I would say that one thing that really, the thing that's making me be like, oh wow, this was actually good and it wasn't, terrible like I thought it was going to be, is just the emotional investment that you get after a while, which I didn't think I would get, but because they made Light a little bit more of a decent human being, because of that, you not only do you feel not just sorry for him, but you don't want, you feel bad for everybody instead of just feeling bad for L or the task force. You feel bad for everybody. It's a tragedy kind of for everyone. And so it works a little bit better for me, just emotionally. And that ending section is just so adrenaline pumping. There's just a lot of action, and it's a very fast-paced movie. So that's probably why some of the things that happen, just they escalate quickly, because just and some of the decisions are stupid just because they had to make it like that to fit into this hour and 40-minute time slot. Because to really go in depth and explain, they wouldn't have had time for like a movie thing. So what comes next? Because not to spoil anything, but the ending, the way it ends, I wouldn't say it's like a cliffhanger, but it doesn't feel like a solid 100% ending, because there is one thing where you're like, okay, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? And then they don't tell you. It's just kind of left in the air. So it's like, are you guys planning a sequel? And if so, what are you going to do? So I don't know, but I found it really, if I could sum it all up in one word, I would say it was very interesting. Really interesting, and yeah, just really interesting. I mean, I'm not really sure if I would call it a good adaptation, because again, it's changed so drastically that honestly it feels more like a standalone film. And like, for someone who's never seen Death Note and they want sort of an introduction to sort of what everything is about, I probably wouldn't recommend this. I mean, it's still really good as a standalone piece, I think. But to really get the true Death Note experience that's, you know, authentic, I would definitely say, like, you know, go for the anime first, or, you know, if you're more into live action, do the live action Japanese version first, just so that you know what the general story is before you go into the live action one on Netflix, because parts of the Netflix one kind of rely on you already knowing some things about Death Note already. So if you've never seen Death Note before, which in this case, like, why are you watching this? Like, but yeah, I just feel like it's probably better to just watch the original Death Note first, which it's on Netflix too. So just watch the anime first and then like see this movie. But it's good. It's good. I liked it. I mean, I'm not sure how other people are going to react, but for me, I'm kind of feeling right now, I'm probably going to be the only one reacting like this and actually thinking, hey, this wasn't so bad. I was pleasantly surprised. I feel like my opinion of it is more of a standalone sort of opinion rather than it being connected to Death Note, because honestly, about halfway through the film, I kind of forgot that I was watching, like, Death Note. Like, you don't really truly forget, but, like, I just kind of forgot that, oh, this is supposed to be an adaptation of this because it's so radically different. But yeah, I mean, it was good, and that's pretty much all I have to say about it. I'm not going to ramble anymore and go on all day. But yeah, I would recommend at least seeing it. You know, give it a chance. You might be pleasantly surprised like I was. Anyway, that has been my, I guess, rant. Not really a rant, just a reaction to how all of this is going, and I hope that if you guys do choose to see the film, that you do get some enjoyment out of it, especially in those little moments that are just like, you know, a little bit goofy. So anywho, you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye!